What's up, y'all? This is Serge and Nick right here. Hey, I got in the dress. Hey, y'all, what's up? This is straight out of Columbus with Serge and Nick. And today's topic, can a man be submissive and still be desirable by women?
I mean, what you hear a lot nowadays are women are looking for this like submissive, mysterious, masculine man. I don't think a man can be submissive and you run all over him and you still desire him. Because we've seen time and time again those type of beta males get ran over and eventually they don't, they outlive their usefulness to that woman.
I think to be submissive, you kind of void the attraction. That's the appeal is masculinity. Masculinity and submissiveness doesn't coincide together very well. What do you think, Sharon?
I'm just going to read the definition of submissive. The definition of submissive is ready to conform to the authority or will of others, meekly obedient or passive. These are not qualities that women look for in men. Simple as that.
It's not submission. When I think of submit, I ain't gonna say no names, but I know many men who have tried to be passive, that submissive when dealing with their women.
Following after their women.
Yeah, following, and you have to take the lead. It's imperative that you do. That's the only way to deal in these relationships, that you play the leader.
I mean, you can let the woman lead you. She'll lead you right to the end of the relationship.
Mm-hmm. All day long.
All day long.
Off the end of the road.
Yep. She'll take you to the yellow brick road.
Facts, and this is not things that this is not just the opinion of men. We've actually, over the years, I've been on this planet for about 38 years, and since I was a kid, I've been around my mother, my aunties, and I witnessed them being several or in and out of several relationships, and that's one of the complaints that they had, was men weren't willing to lead. They were too go alongish.
Passive.
Way too passive. And that's not it's just not a natural thing for a man to be, and women just aren't attracted to that ultimately. If they are, it's for a short period, but it's never long term.
And they'll deal with them in a relationship. They'll deal with them.
But they don't respect them.
They don't respect them, and it doesn't last forever. It doesn't last long at all. Now, we've seen numerous relationships, and even at times in relationships in my past, where I've tried to kind of conform some of my ideals and kind of give in to certain things. It capitulate. There you go. It didn't work. Trying to hear that woman out. No, you got to make the sound decisions. You got to make the decisions, and you got to stand on it, and you got to live with the consequences if you're wrong. Many women that I've seen in the past, aunties, family, friends, or whatever, but the females that I've observed, they're not willing to live by the consequences that they of taking the head of the leadership role. If the kids fail, that is the community's responsibility. The kids, it is our responsibility as the men, and women often don't want to take on that responsibility of failure.
Well, they see, anytime you present them with some sort of failure, it's like kryptonite to them. They have like this like allergic reaction where they start to swell up, and they, ad hominem attacks come and everything comes out. But time and time again, we hear a lot of these women. I watch a lot of these videos from time to time, and I hear women say what they want is, I want a man that's willing to let them take the lead. That's the crux of what they want. Yeah. But that's not really what they desire, because you see it once they get into these relationships where they're allowed to take the lead, all of a sudden now they walking over this dude, like we stated before, there's no respect. Once the respect is gone, the attraction is gone.
Yeah. To submissive men, they want somebody they can control and dominate.
So they do, but they don't.
They do, but they don't.
See, they like that power though. They like that power. Once
for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of like an ego trip for them, that they're running the household at that point.
Can't let it go. They at the same time, like, there's women I've dated in the past, and the dudes that they're dealing with now, they're not happy with. They're dealing with them, but they're not happy with them. In fact, many of the women that I've dated in the past,
you gonna go there?
many of the women I've dated in the past, go in there with it. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna tell one story of a chick that I dated. She had her new boyfriend, somebody that she was friends with when we were together, and I knew what it was. I kind of checked, dude. checked her, because that's what you really supposed to do. You're supposed to check the woman that you're dealing with. But anyway, she had called me and asked if I could mentor her boyfriend. If I could kind of coach him up into masculinity. She asked me this.
And the fact that he was willing to go along with it, good Lord.
I'm about to say the fact that he was okay with it just speaks volumes about how you are as a man.
In the words of Justin Lee Peterson, beta.
And this dude actually, on a couple of occasions, called and asked me for advice and asked me for help. It was very sad and I'm kind of petty, so I told him I would help them and kind of counsel them in their relationship.
But I feel you on that because when I used to work at a call center. You would hear a lot of these women would have, work husbands,
Yeah.
and that's another slight disrespect on you as a man.
You said slight?
Slight.
Ain't no slight to it.
Direct.
That's
That's
direct.
completely disrespectful.
I misspoke. That's a direct disrespect
There you go.
to you. And I would hear a lot of these women like, here, I got a good example because after you told your story, I thought of one myself. I used to work with this young lady, and her boyfriend had been together since they were young, so they were high school sweethearts. She had been bored with this dude. She told me on multiple occasions she bored with this dude. Actually, on multiple occasions, a couple times, but we ain't gonna get here or there. But on many occasions, she would come to me and tell me how her boyfriend was not manly, how he wasn't a man, but yet he went to work for 80 hours a week. He was a weld, you know what I mean? He had a blue collar job. She had just lost so much respect for him, but she did not want to get out of that relationship because she felt that if she did without having a return from that relationship, aka child, that would look as a failure on her part.
And I'm going to add this to what he just said. This is a topic for a different conversation, but I'm going to add this into what he just said. Women don't move on until they got another dude lined up.
Facts.
They ain't moving on.
Facts.
Y'all going to hate me for that, but that's what it is.
And fellas, accept it. You can look like Shamar Moore, Tyson Beckford in their prime. You can look like Fabio in his prime. Don't let your ego get it twisted. I don't care how bad you think she looks. She can be 400 pounds. She look like Precious. No offense, Gabby Cinnabon. But I'm just saying by European standards. But anyway,
why y'all keep it
it ain't got nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. Women, that's just how they operate, man.
They need that level of security. They need that feeling. They can't. There's something about they just can't have that feeling of not having that security or having a man that desires them or somebody to pump their ego
You want to
up.
know what's funny? Like the conversation we're having right now, we can take it like in so many different directions now. And,
Yeah.
segue into other stuff. But, bring us home, sir.
Fellas, don't let no female gaslight you and make you believe that it's okay to cry in front of them.
Nah, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Worst decision you ever make in your life.
They'll tell you all day long. Again, this goes along with submission. This is kind of like breaking you. This is a part of breaking.
Facts.
They want you to cry. They want a dude who's sensitive to open up. Well,
They-
opening up is one thing.
They want you to believe that's what they want.
Well, they want to know your deepest, darkest secrets so they have fuel to fire at you later.
Leverage
Remember that
against you
time
later.
you cried and told me about how?
And we've all had it done to us.
Facts.
To where the woman will use that information that she's gathered, like intel, like the FBI,
When you're
later
being-
on your ass.
And don't tell them no childhood traumas, because that'll be the first thing that comes up.
What is that? When you're being read your Miranda rights? At the end of it, what do they say? Everything you say can
and will be used against you.
Yes, sir.
Hey. Well, that's it, folks, for that conversation. Thank you for joining us today, tomorrow, and next week.